All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this afternoon or this evening's webinar, depending on where you're joining us from. We're so excited that you're here. My name is Lauren Dennis with Design for Learning, and I'll be your moderator for this session. So please feel free to pop any questions that you have in the chat, and I'll call them out to your facilitator, Emma. I'll also be popping all of the resources over there for the session as well. And then we should have time for Q&A at the end of this session. One final thing, this webinar is being recorded, and you will receive an email with the recording link 24 hours after we end. So with all of that, I'm going to turn it over to your facilitator, Emma Cartier.
All right. Gotta love Canva's new features. Lauren, it's a pleasure to be here. And I just want to thank everyone for investing your time. One of my goals is always to take advantage of your time and make sure that you feel that it's time well spent. So we're focusing on like the new Canva features, what's working, saving teachers time with Canva AI. There's so many cool new features that have been launched this year, and they are the perfect things you need to kickstart your school year. I'll formally introduce myself. My name is Emma Cartier. I am actually in Canada. I'm your friendly neighbor to the north, but I actually live below the border. How crazy is that? I'm on Vancouver Island. We straddle the Canadian-American border, and the border actually splits our island, not physically in two, but metaphorically into. I'm a Canva certified educator. I'm a digital designer. It's just my passion project. I'm a Google champion, and of course, a mom to a young human. I do encourage you to save this presentation. And Canva actually, not a super new feature, but a new feature. They actually make their own cool new links. I used to bit.ly everything. Nothing wrong with the bit.ly, but canva.link/engage with Canva, or take a screenshot, but you want to make sure that you have this for later, because there is lots and lots of goodies in here. So I'm going to just leave this up for a few more seconds. As Lauren mentioned, we do encourage you, please ask questions. I am double screened, so I will be checking the chat. Also, Lauren will help me out if I've missed any questions, but please save this, canva.link engage with Canva. Now, a few kind of housekeeping items. If you don't mind, I'd love to know your location. This webinar is spanning North America. So for my own curiosity, as I mentioned, I am in Canada, but I have already hit 30 states, not hit them, but I have traveled to them. I have a goal of making it to 50, but my North America geography is quite good. We've told you about the questions. Please use the chat. I'll also be available during the end. But this is a great reminder. Right in the middle, it says login. So when we are creating with Canva, if we're creating templates and resources and things, just a friendly and gentle reminder to please be using your educational account. If you have questions about access, unfortunately, Lauren and I can't answer those because we are not the gatekeepers of Canva. We'd love to share the love to everyone, but if you're not sure or you don't think you have the education, please reach out to your district tech leader. They're the best person to ask. There's a lot of districts out there that are using kind of Canva district-wide, and they would be the best ones to help you out. So today, if you are creating things, please make sure you are in your education account. And I'll just kind of pop out to remind you. So right here, you're going to kind of see those gears. You can see that I am logged in here, and you can see it's a school district email. You might also see that your school has some teams. So just be aware the check mark, wherever the check mark is where that you are designing. So now is a great time. You can even pause this video, make sure that you are logged in with your school district credentials. I have a bit of an ambitious plan today, but that's just how I roll. Back to school with Canva, I am going to be showcasing a plethora of the new features, quite a few of them. I want to give a chance to get creative, some things that I would do to kickstart my school year. My school year will start in a couple weeks. I'm not just there yet. I want to remind you or show you just all the templates available to you in Canva. There is Canva Learn Grid, which is a brand new feature, great for getting like presentations, resources, because you can search by subject, by grade, in a lot of states by kind of curricular outcome, which is great. We're also going to kind of do a spattering of Canva AI and specifically Canva Code, which is a new feature. and maybe like kind of code 2.0, because the coding was there, but it is so much better. It was cool before, it's extra cool. And then I always like to end with a few just design goodies, things that I've created that I think you might enjoy. So that is our plan today. I am a designer across the board. I use Google Slides, I use Adobe, I use PowerPoint. I can design in everything. But Canva has a real advantage. Why I love Canva, it is a one-stop shop. I don't need to go anywhere else to get images, to create content. I can do videos, I can do transitions, I can remove backgrounds right in there. So just a reminder that Canva Education empowers everyone to create, and they allow everyone to be successful. And that's what I love about it. It is so user-friendly. And for me in particular, being a designer, it's a one-stop shop. I don't have to pull in content from anywhere else, unless I want to. But everything is there for me, which is a huge, huge advantage, and it saves oodles of time. I'd love to know how you feel about Canva. I hope it's a 3, and in true teacher form, a decimal is fine. If you're, a 2.8, that is lovely. I'm going to assume if you are here today that you are closer to 3, or I'm going to round it up to 3. But if you get a chance, just let us know in the chat. I know Lauren is a big fan of Canva, and both of us kind of use it all the time. I'm seeing some good, healthy Canva numbers, so I like that. Thank you. And I want to just remind you, some people, when they're using Canva, maybe you're a new user to Canva, which is great. There's kind of 3 main ways to design. Maybe you're a blank canvas designer where you're like, I don't want Canva to tell me what I'm making. Like, you can just start with a blank canvas. And when I say a canvas, just like a blank screen, maybe like it's presentation, maybe it's a flyer, maybe it's a social media. You can start with any dimensions that you would like. So that's what I consider the blank canvas. You can start with a template. Now, templates, I will point out shortly that there's a whole template section in Canva. You can also get templates through the new like LearnGrid or the Canva Education, or you can do Canva Code. So lots of different ways. So here's how I'd kind of differentiate. If you have your idea and you know what you want to do, a blank canvas might be the way to go. If you want like a worksheet or a handout or like a graphic organizer, you're probably going to want to go the template route. If you want to kind of explore some new innovation and have something created for you, like you maybe have the vision, but you're not really sure how to put it together, Canva Code is going to be kind of the best route for you. And I'm going to kind of be showing you varying degrees of these 3. There is some big new things in Canva, and I want to kind of point out the ends here. The start with an idea and the generate elements. I would say kind of those are the 2 big things that came out of Canva Create in the big conference in April. And on the left, it says start with an idea, and you can see where it says turn conversation into creation. Now with the Canva Code, you can just type or even speak what you would like, and it'll bring it to life. But here's the big. If you want changes to color, changes to font, changes to text, changes to your like elements and decorations, you can just ask Canva to do that. That's right. You can ask Canva to do whatever you want, and it will do it. So I'd say that's one of the new features where we're focusing on more conversation and, manipulating those designs to get it exactly the way you want it. Now, on the far right-hand side, you will see generate elements, and there's some really cool new things that you can do. One of my favorite is 3D images. That's right, 3D, where students can actually rotate them around and check them out. You can also see that Canva now can connect to your Google Workspace. I'm going to save that for another session. And then edit your way. There's lots of built-in AI to help you with the writing and controlling your design and controlling the content. So those are kind of like the overarching themes of the new Canva. But I wanted to have a little fun to get started. I like to have fun with presentations. And these are just little teacher hacks that you might like. And you can see if I hit the B, it blurs my screen. If I hit the Q, this might be a nice classroom management thing. I teach grade 8. I probably didn't even mention that to you, but I am a full-time teacher on the front line. So especially if you're doing something like Canva code, you can generate game-based kind of things that might come in handy. And you can just kickstart this presentation. You can see that I hit the curtain call, and I opened it up. There's also the timer. So if I hit 2, you get a 2-minute timer, which is really, really handy. Okay. If you hit the 2, it takes the timer off the screen. So those are just some fun little things to kind of up your Canva game if you didn't know they exist. Woo! Let's dive into some fun new features. Now, buckle up. If I am going too fast, please just drop it in the chat. Let me know. If not, I am going to dive into my excitement for these new features in Canva. So this is the Canva Code 2.0. This is kind of, I'd say, the hot new feature. It's my favorite of the new features. And like I said, this is the conversation. You can ask Canva Code to generate anything you might like for a classroom. It could be a worksheet. It can even be like a scientific demonstration. It can be a digital escape room. It can be a poster. It can be a presentation, like a resource. Don't be shy in what you ask for. And then you'll see, and you're going to see this in just a minute, there's a conversation box. So like I said, if you want different colors, different elements, different style, more elegant, more sophisticated, more fun, you just drop that in the chat and Canva Code can bring that to life. So if you're like, I don't even know what I would ask Canva Code, here's some things. Maybe it's going to be a timeline, a timer, a matching game. Maybe you want a drag and drop questions, some interactive flashcards, sorting, character, you name it. I will show you something I'm going to ask for, and I'm actually going to use this for back to school. Here are some suggestions. This is kind of Canva's recommendation for your Canva Code formula, but you don't have to do it exactly. But you want to be specific on what you want, like flyer, presentation, science demonstration, digital screen. Like, be really clear on what it is that you want. And then make sure you tell the widget, they call it widgets, what you'd like to do. And then if you have a particular style, like if you want it to be fun, if you want it to be vibrant, if you want it to use school colors, if you want it to look like a cartoon, you're going to add that. So what you want it to do, and what you want it to look like is kind of the formula. So I'm going to go over to my Canva here. And I'm right over here. So remember, I have logged in with my credentials, and all you have to do, so I'm right on the main thing, templates, layers, education, presentation. Look for the purple icon that says code, and you just need to simply click on it. And you can see, tell AI what to build, and I'll appear here. I always say please. You don't have to say please, but I feel like it generates me exactly what I want when I say please. So please generate me a 10-slide presentation for students that has, I'm going to change it, a 10-slide would you rather presentation that has students choosing between different foods, vacations, etc. Make the vibe fun, and be sure to include a title page. All right, this is my ask. I'm going to simply hit the purple button. It doesn't take long. You can see working on it. And you can see that this is a new chat. So it's a fresh chat. So it says on it, I'll create a fun, colorful, would you rather presentation. And what I love watching, it says coding for you. It's going to get into the hundreds. If you have a more specific ask, it's more code, which I love. If you say you've been generating a lot and you want a fresh chat, you can see right up here. It's not letting me do it right now, obviously, because it's thinking, and it thinks pretty quickly. But if you want to ever start fresh, it's right up there for you. So I'm really excited. Remember, I am asking for a would you rather. I've asked for it to be fun, and I want the students to choose different things. Now, in the classroom, sometimes I have them go to the right side of the classroom if you choose this, or do it kind of four-corner style, but it's a nice activity for the beginning of school to like break the ice, get to know the new faces. We're at 219 lines of code. And here we go. So it says, would you rather? The ultimate classroom debate game. Use the arrows to navigate. So let's check it out. Oh, look at this. Would you rather eat only pizza or only tacos for the year? Boom. And you can have, so it navigates between different things. Now, if I actually think this is really good and I really like it, but if you're like, please make the background more of a blue color. And this is where the conversation comes in. Sorry, I'm Canadian. We like to stick use in a lot of words. Color is one of them. Please make the background more of a blue color. All right. Working on this. And this is where I really want to drive home that conversation. Don't feel like you just have to stick with the first version. You can even see that it saves in the versions. And now it's blue. So if you wanted them to have specific things that they choose from, boom, there you go. Like, look how amazing that is. I love it. So there's kind of my community building demo that Canva, and this is one that I generated earlier. So I'm going to give you like a minute just because I want to show you so many cool features. So 1 minute on my Canva. So I've hit a 1 on my keyboard. I'd love for you to go into Canva code and ask it to make it something. Make you something to help. So maybe it's a handout, maybe it's a flyer, maybe it's a social media post. Like I said, maybe it's a scientific demonstration. Maybe it's just a kindness poster. Maybe it's something for mindfulness. Honestly, the sky's the limit. I have not yet had Canva code not be able to make me something. So if you feel up for it, I'd love for you to share what you came up with in the chat. Whew. You know what I love about those timers? They're really student friendly. Google's timer can be quite a shriek. So I really like this one. I hope you were able to make something fun. If you feel like sharing, please let us know. I'd love, love, love to hear from you. All right, this one is really fun. I love the new decorate feature. So say you have just like a slide and you have your topic or you've put kind of your content, you've done some typing and you just want Canva to make it really nice for you. That is a new option. So you can see that I have a slide here. All I've done is added a text box. I put my name on it. If you're wondering, that is not a rounded rectangle under effects. I am obsessed with the text effects. I love the background text effects. It is my favorite. But all you have to do, you just click on the slide, you hit edit, you click decorate, and this is how easy. So this is some more Canva AI. Please add some fun and vibrant school supplies around my text. All right, here we go. It typically will generate me 4 options, which I love. I love to have choice. And what I also love about Decorate is you can fully manipulate these objects. So they will place them on your slide, but you can certainly move them around. You can delete some, you can keep some, you can put some larger, you can change the colors. Oh, look at these options. To be honest, this one's a little busy for my liking, but I like this one. So maybe this becomes just kind of connecting it to back to the school year. Maybe this is like your welcome slide, like students come in. I know in our school, students kind of find out their teacher that first day back. It can be a little chaotic, so it's nice. In the kind of the mix of things, students may not have fully processed your name. So I always kind of like to have this nice on my big screen. Here's my name. I would, of course, not have Emma in there, but it would be a nice segue into some other slides that I share with the students. So this was another example that I did just using the decorate feature, which I think is cool. Woo! I just did a little confetti. C for confetti, really fun. Oh, magic layers. Where has this been all my life? By the way, this works for PDF, this works for JPEGs. If you have a pre-existing design, so to say, even if it's like been in Google Slides somewhere else, watch this. So sorry, Canva, this I made in Google Slides. You can see that it's all locked in. This watch now is a Canva element, but you can see this whole thing is connected. It is a JPEG. I've downloaded it from Google Slides as a JPEG. But if I click on this image and I hit edit, there is magic layers right here. And watch, when you hit magic layers, it's going to scan the image, and then it's actually going to separate out the different components. And most times, if not all, look at this. I can now go in and edit. Like, I can go in and change the text. Yes, that's right. That was from a JPEG. So you could even pull an image off the web. Magic layers, you can take out elements, you can add elements, you can now fully manipulate. Maybe there is, and just be careful with copyright, disclaimer, don't come back at me. But I can pull, this is actually a really kind of old, but I can pull that off. I can put something on again. So again, that was under edit and magic layers. So magic layers will take out any of those images and separate them into fully editable components. Oh, like, can we get maybe I got to be in present mode, but this is like almost one of those moments where you're like, boom, mic drop. It is going to be a game changer for a lot of teachers. All right, so we've done decorate, we've done magic layers. I want to go over the new generate elements feature. Again, elements is those things we put on the presentations. You can see on the left, it is right here. And there's lots of different things. So under elements, you would type what you want up here on the left. You know, maybe you want a character, maybe you need the periodic table of elements, maybe you just need some shapes, maybe you need a rounded rectangle. But under generate, you have the option. Do you want images? And images will be more like real life images. Graphics are more like the cutesy clips art. Do you want a video? Do you want music? Do you want sound effects? There's 3D, there's shapes. Like, you can tell Canva specifically what kind of element you're looking for. You can also see that you can build in charts and you can build in forms. Amazing. So let me show you kind of 3D images in action. I actually have to be out of present mode, but I actually made, oh no, I put it here. I put it on the next slide, I think. All right, here is it, an example. I have a young human who is 6. So I purposely choose things that I knew. I'm like, little kids love insects. They're fascinated. They love picking them up. They love picking up the words. Maybe I'll speak for my own human. But look at this. When you click, you will see that kind of rotate. It looks exactly like the rotate from the Lego instructions. But look at this. When you click it, you can move these guys around. A little bit gross, mostly fascinating. Look at the fly. Like, students, this is the stuff that textbooks can't do. Like, look at that. And all I did to design this is like some text effects. I just did my title. I did some rounded rectangles, and then I have my critters. So you could decide just to do one and do some information. Totally up to you. Now, you might think, okay, well, that's great for younger learners, but I have older learners. Well, in Canada here, just like I'm sure many other places, I might have to refresh this. My little picture isn't coming up. Maybe you, during the human heart, there's supposed to be a human heart there. I'm going to hit a little refresh and hopefully it comes up for me. But maybe you do your anatomy. Maybe you want like an interactive periodic table of elements. Let me just go back to the slide there. There's my human heart. And if you click in the middle, look at that. There's the aorta. There's the ventricles at the bottom. Like, a lot of students, unless they've kind of taken some biology, students kind of think it's more of our traditional heart shaped. And then using Canva's Ask Canva, you can come up with an interesting detail. And you can always ask Canva, write this more fun, write this more playful, write this for like a grade 8 audience. You can use Canva, that Canva AI for writing, and I'm going to show that more later, but you can use that to come up with some interesting details. Because what I like to do, and I'm going to show you this again, I like to have something intriguing up projected. I have a big screen in my classroom. When they walk in and there's something there, their attention is automatically drawn to that. So that's something that I like to do. All right, today is your day. I am going to give you hopefully 1 minute to generate a 3D image for a future lesson. Some other examples could be like gems and minerals. If you're doing creative writing, you could like generate a character and they have to like specifically describe it in details. I know I do a lot of descriptive writing in my grade 8 class, but right now, see if you can generate something, a really fun 3D image that you could use for an upcoming lesson. Feel free to let me know in the chat what you created. So many options. Now, this one I'm not going to show you, but it's just this little icon, the new Canva. You have the ability to work offline. Now, you need to specify, like say you're going on an airplane or you're going camping with your family. Please, try and get off the grid. But there's a little icon, and I'll show you right here. If you check it, it will give you the ability to work offline on that specific design. It might be a feature you want to take advantage of. Animating images. Look at this. So fun. So this is an image that I just specifically found in Canva. So here's one. And again, I use the Canva AI and Magic, right, to just come up with this because I like to put really thought-provoking and random questions. All clownfish are born male. True fact, I didn't make this up. Males do have the option to convert to female, but once they're female, there's no going back. So all you have to do is click on the image. You can see that I've just kind of tucked it behind in a regular shape just for aesthetic purposes. But under edit, all you have to do is pick image to video right here, image to video. And you don't even need to specify. I mean, you can go to custom and like say if you have something in mind, but I just typically go with smart and it'll generate a little 5-second video. So I'm using the same image just to save time. But this image I just got through Canva Photos. I will tell you sometimes not all the photos will work. It'll come up with a little thing. If it doesn't work, you just go ahead and pick another image. But look at that. So now it's animating. So I'm going to just pop it into present mode. But how wonderful is that for students to have that animated content to really just give life to maybe a new unit or a new topic that you are doing. Another new feature, and not as new, I would say, is copy art style. I use this all this time because if I'm putting different elements, like say I'm not using decorate, but I'm putting different elements on a presentation, I like them to match and I like to have really good flow between things. So maybe you're doing a slide that it's lunchtime. I like to give instructions on the board because I have grade 8s and those frontal lobes sometimes need to be reminded. But say I went in here and I got just some French fries. And you can see that these fries, they don't fit the vibe. In fact, they're very realistic and they don't match. And that will bug my design brain. But all I need to do is I need to go over to my ice cream, the design that I like. And under style, I need to copy art style. Copy art style. And with the art style copied, you can see that's copied when you have the little roller. I just go over to my French fries, click, and you can see that progress bar there. It is going to align. I mean, those fries do look pretty scrumptious, but I like my designs to be, look at that. Isn't that awesome? Now these kind of flow together. And it really saves you time. In my earlier Canva years, I'd really like search through the elements to make things that match. And sometimes I do the right click and see more like this, and that works sometimes. But copying the art style works so much better. So that's another one of the newer-ish features. Now, I'll maybe just pause here if there are questions just for a minute. So if you have a question about any of those new features, please let me know. If not, I am going to be diving in for some kind of back to school ideas, ways of kind of connecting those new features, things that you can do with your students. I'm not seeing any questions, so I am just going to keep designing, but don't hesitate if you have questions, drop it in the chat. So let's create. Now it's back to the school year. You are just meeting your new class. I think it's great to make a little slide all about the teacher. This is me. I do love to play softball. I do love pink. And of course, I love to design on Canva. I have a blank slide here because I just want to kind of show you these in person. Here's another example. To be honest, I didn't change all the information. I like Harry Potter. I wouldn't say it's my favorite book, but just wanted to give you an example. And my heading is kind of what I would search. So above elements is templates. And you can see that I'm already in a design. Templates does exist outside of a design as well. But my heading is kind of what I'd search. I'd search introduction or template or like teacher introduction, and I would search. Now, I will just tell you every day you might get different hits. So if there is a design that you absolutely love, make sure you click on it and at least tuck it in there. So I think this one's pretty fun. I don't know. I'm just going to kind of scroll down and see what my options are. If you see the play button, it will be like a little video. But I like to go through. I'm actually going to kind of live on the edge today and pick one that doesn't even really truly look like an introduction. So this is how easy. So I would change this to Miss Cottier. And I can, of course, bring this down. I can change the colors. I would say, I love softball, travel, and photography. And I'd add in, any other fun details. Maybe I'd put my website. Maybe here I'm going to put the school year. Anyway, lots of different things. But something you can do that's really, really fun, and I think I have it in my uploads. Say you have a picture of yourself, and I'm going to go upload files. I should hopefully have one. Okay, here's a picture of myself. I am going to upload it. By the way, if you've ever watched Virgin River, this is Jack's bar behind me. Now watch this. Not a new feature, but a feature I love. BG remover, background remover. Boom! Look how easy that is. Now I'm going to kind of put me on the side. Hi, students. This is a great just introduction. You can see that took me like all of 2 minutes. Maybe this then segues into your expectations, your classroom kind of community, your activities for the day. So I always think it's great to do the school year where students can kind of get to know a little bit about you before you get to know them. I think it's good to share some details. I like to always include a fun one, like I have danced with Ellen DeGeneres. That's a fun fact. Many years ago when she had her show. Yes, I'm pretty lucky. So that's just an example that I would do. I teach grade 8, so my students do move around for a schedule. And again, my heading was schedules, so I would just type in schedules into the template. Here is one, and I think these visual cues are so important for students. In middle school, we wouldn't have sharing activities, but you could certainly change this to math or writing or different things. Reminders, to-do lists. I like this one. I think it's really, really sharp. If you want kind of like a more formal class schedule, you can do that. Remember, in Canva, you can link as well. You just right click, insert the link. So if you wanted something more interactive, that's certainly doable. So again, under templates, we're going to go at the top here. We are going to simply type in schedule, and you would pick something. If I had, I actually really like this one's kind of sharp. You could certainly adjust and modify these. But where I work, I'm in a middle school. We have 4 blocks in the day. So I like to have the morning schedule up when students come in so they don't have to ask me what class they have, where they're going. It saves me a lot of time. Another suggestion for back to school to kind of flex those new Canva features. Again, maybe you want to do this in the Canva code, but the would you rather. If you're like, okay, Canva code is one thing, but also in templates, there is would you rather templates as well. Would you rather? And you can scroll through. You can see that this is a this or that brain break. This one is like all ready to go. So you could just apply all 20. Now, if I was doing this, I'd probably load up a brand new Canva kind of presentation, but don't be afraid to just search through the templates. The one advice I'd give you, I am in presentation mode. These are presentation dimensions, but if you wanted like social media or a flyer, make sure that you are in those dimensions. So if I went back home, I'm in Canva, you could create, and under creation, you can go to those different things, or you can certainly go down to a custom size and do that. I use Canva all sorts. If you're a Google Classroom user, maybe it's a new like header. If you have a website, you can make a design for anything that you would like. So that's another example. I'm not going to generate this one, but maybe you want to consider some classroom jobs. Canva has some really great templates all set up for you there. You got it. Now, maybe I'll just pause for 10 seconds there if there's any questions, because I want to show you LearnGrid. LearnGrid is a brand new feature. And in fact, for me, it is extra new. My LearnGrid, I shouldn't say my, Canada, LearnGrid for Canada. I swear, I don't know the exact timing, but when I put together this presentation last week, it still wasn't available in Canada. In the last 24 hours, they must have known I'm presenting on Canva today. LearnGrid has become available, and it is going to blow your mind. So don't worry about the link. I put it there because at first I couldn't access it. But let me show you this. See where it says education. Mine says new. Yours may not say new, but mine is new because it's definitely new. Check this out. So I am right on the Canva main page. I'm going to do education. And look at this. Canada is in there. Now you can go through, and I might do things for Lauren because I know Lauren is in California. So you can search by state. You can search by subject. So I don't know. I'm going to go English language arts, and I am a grade 8 teacher. So I'm going to pick grade 8. Then I can choose the category. Do I want a worksheet? Do I want Canva code? I'm kind of intrigued by Canva code actually to see what it will come up with. And my topic, it does break down your curriculum. Now, I'm not super familiar with the curriculum of California, but I am familiar with grammar conventions. So let's see. California, English language arts, 8th grade, Canva code, grammar conventions. Let's see what it's come on. This one is really intriguing. Game on, grammar in the world of esports. If you're like, okay, I think I might like that. And again, this is the first time I'm seeing this particular thing. Let's customize this resource. Once you hit customize, you will now, I don't want to say own it, but it will become your version in Canva. And let's just check this out. Start quest. So it says drag words. I'm going to maybe scroll up. Drag words from the bank below into, so you can see that there's the words and students have to move. You might be thinking, okay, I like this. How do I share it with students? Up here, you can hit share. You can get a template link. You can put it right in your Google Classroom. I'll just scroll down. If you see all, you can see you could do a template link. That template link can then go in like any LMS system that you have, QR code, lots of different options. You can put it anyway. Whew, that is really, really cool. So if you have a moment right now, I would encourage you, and I'm going to show you one more time how I got there. I'm going to go back home. I'm going to click education, and I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to do Canva, just see the difference. I'm going to choose language arts. I am going to choose grade 8. And you know what? I'm just going to do a worksheet, and I'm just going to see what it comes up with. So we have answer the question, research, put it, think, pair. Oh, think, pair, share. I like that. We use it a lot. Oh, topic. Okay. Let's do it. I know this is a controversial book, but I'm going to do it because it's recognizable. The Outsider, Stay Gold, Pony Boy, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I have been through their house. That's right, where Tom Cruise has been, Rob Lowe, Patrick Swayze. I've stood where they've stood. All right, let's see what it comes up with. Look at that. So Outsiders novel study, key terms, greaser, soc, identity, conflict, And I want to remind you, if AI is generating things, great. You always need to check, read it over, make sure, but it has some pretty good questions. So boom, there is a resource through the new LearnGrid, which is wonderful. All right. Today is your day. 1 minute on the clock. Try out Canva's new LearnGrid to make a teaching material for your new school year. Again, research, presentation. I do teach language arts. I love to generate presentations on figurative language, like metaphor, simile. I love it. I hope you have fallen in love with LearnGrid. It is like there's no need to go to Teachers Pay Teachers. Just go to LearnGrid, type in something you'd like, and it will do it. Now, just want to remind you that Canva, I'm going to go back to the home menu, has oodles and oodles of templates. So maybe you have a brand new class and a brand new grade, and you're like, I have no idea what I want to teach. Sometimes I just look through templates. So you can see right up here, and you can choose a poster. Then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to poster. Maybe I need to decorate my classroom. Let's just see. So there's classroom rules, lots of different things. I know for my school, I can print up to an 11 by 17, but maybe you want like a get to know your teacher, or maybe you want to do these if you have color printing. Oh, I'm just going to pick on this one. But this would be really fun for students to complete digitally or on paper, depending on what your setup is at school. But these printed up on the classroom wall, and then students can like personalize it with their colors. They can add some other elements. So sometimes it's just great to do a little like scroll through the templates. Look at this. This is you are creative. Maybe you just have some really boring classroom walls and you want to kind of jazz it up a little bit. There's templates, of course, on reading strategies, mindfulness, graphic organizer. I'm going to switch now to presentation. And I was telling you figurative language. So you could use Canva code to generate, right? But this one, I've seen this one numerous times, but look at this. I love this one. similar, like these are the perfect ones for grade 8, but like metaphor, it has an example. Like that is a sharp resource that I would use with my students. So don't be afraid just to like peruse the templates. There's lots and lots of goodies in there for you. So here's just like one screenshot, but honestly, there is so many options for you. I'm going to kind of skip over giving you time here. I feel confident in your ability to find a template, and I only have about 10 minutes with you. So I want to make sure that, you know, we just have some really great time to dive into some other things. So I've shown you Canva Code, which is Canva AI, but I also want to show you that AI in Canva also exists in another location. So Canva Code, we know, you can see it's right up here, but there's also Canva AI. There isn't one that's kind of better than the other. Remember, Canva Code allows you to have a conversation, and that's probably the biggest difference. Canva AI is generating new things. Both generate. Canva Code just kind of allows you to dive into more detail. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go down. My Canva AI is here. If you are zoomed in, I'll just show you Canva AI does kind of tuck and hide a little bit. I zoomed in just to, like, this is at 100% here. So you might have to go down to those 3 dots and then go to your Canva AI. So you know you have Canva Code and you have Canva AI. So I could say, please design me a 10-slide presentation on figurative language that includes metaphor, simile, hyperbole, oxymoron, personification, and rhyme. I'm kind of picking the main ones for grade 8, at least grade 8 in Canada, in British Columbia. And why I like the Canva AI, I don't want to say I like it better than Canva Code, but I do like it that it gives you kind of an outline. So this would be an advantage of the Canva AI as opposed to the Canva Code, because Canva Code, you can just keep typing the different things that you want. But if you were, say, like preparing a presentation and you had a plan, you can type it in. So you can see that you're going to have a title page. It's going to do metaphor. It's going to be, and it has the plan out for you. If you're like, okay, I like the plan, I'm going to go ahead and generate the design. The other thing that Canva AI does that's like a little bit different than Canva Code is it's going to typically give you at least 2 different versions. Canva Code will just give you a version for you to keep updating and kind of changing. It's really just a preference thing. I think my gut, now that I've seen Canva Code, would go there first to see that it comes up with, but I like to show you different options available to you. So it is loading. Again, it only takes a few minutes. I am on a paid version of Canva, but it shouldn't matter. So here we go. We have figurative language. All right. Okay. I like it. So now I have my presentation. I just need to click on it. Now, once I've clicked in it, I do have full edit. I can change the colors. I can delete slides. I mean, I do that quite often. I don't particularly love the title page. It's not my style, but metaphor, simile, hyperbole. I'm not sure what's going on with the colors there, but I would go through and edit. I think Canva Code could honestly come up with something better than this particular generation, but that's the beauty of AI. It's just prompted again, maybe more specific. For this one, I would definitely tell like colors are different. This is too juvenile, looking for grade 8 in my opinion. But just wanted to show you that's a prompt that you could do in Canva AI. And you can always ask, it used to come up with it, or sometimes you can ask like more playful, more professional. You can and you could do that in Canva Code as well. You could come up with a school poster. Again, you can do this in Canva Code or Canva AI. At our school, we have pizza day. I'm going to go just back to home, I think, just so it's fresh. Go back to Canva AI. And I could say, please generate me, and I like to be specific, an 8-hour a letter size flyer advertising pizza day on Friday, where all slices are $2.50. Whoops. Make the colors blue and green. Those are our school colors. Boom. So we'll see what it comes up with. Again, I am in Canva AI. You access that on the left-hand side. And you're going to, it's look like it's going to give me a few different options. Canva AI or Canva Code is also great for logos. Maybe you're running a new club, a new school initiative. You could easily come up with a logo as well. Now I'm just going to see. There we go. We have lots of different things there as well. One thing I wanted to show you quickly that's under the AI is the writing and the Magic Write. And sorry, I'm zoomed in here. There we go. Magic Write is awesome. I wouldn't encourage this necessarily for students, but as a teacher, I like to have exemplars, and I'm just going to show you how quickly. Say you're doing a poetry unit. I'm going to go with haiku poetry, Japanese poetry, 3 lines, 5 syllables, 7, 5 syllables. So maybe with my template, I just start with cherry blossoms. And I'm gonna go with this one. All right. So I got some nice cherry blossoms here. I'm gonna use that text box. So you just have to have a text box. If you don't have a text box, you can add one, or under text, you can see Magic Write is here. So if I didn't have where it says presentation and I had no text on here, I can just go Magic Write. Please write me a haiku poem. I'm just going to say about spring. Boom. There you go. I could say more like this or this, but include, but for time purposes, I now have it entered. I'd center it. You know, I do a little design things, but if you're doing haiku poem, boom, I now have an exemplar to help students just to show them the structure, the syllables. So I use it all the time for those kind of things. Now, along the lines of writing, and this is just to encourage more writing in the classroom, I have a random prompt. This is for my English language arts class. When they come in, there's a random thing and they grab journals and actually a pencil. I'm very digital, but they have like journals with a pencil. And I put one of these random slides up, right? 30 words that rhyme with light. Can you name 10 of them? And I make them, what is the number one item that annoys Miss Cartier? And we have fun with it. It's a great little discussion. What are 2 items on your high school bucket list? So I do those. Now I have 2 minutes left and I have 3 design goodies to give you as a little token of my appreciation. That's been a whirlwind, but I'm really proud of myself. I had a really ambitious game plan, but we seem to have made it through. All right, design goodie number 1, and I actually just made this at the beginning of summer. I was inspired by actually my kids' kindergarten classroom. If you click on the image, it is going to come up. And I actually made, and this is letter size, a literacy alphabet, but for grade 8 students. So it has alliteration, it has bias, and I've printed this in color and I've laminated, and it's going to be like a whole row along my classroom. So that's my one kind of digital alphabet. If you're teaching younger kids, feel free to just adjust it. My next is 11 by 14 to hopefully inspire students. Again, click on the image, it will load up. This is a poster and it's going to be quite small here. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. 10 ways to be a great student, because as teachers, we're talking about these things all the time, right? Come to school every day, show up with your slides. So this is going, I made this with Canva again at the end of the school year, because that's when I was like, feeling frustrated about reminding the same things. So poster, that's going to go up in the classroom. And my personal favorite, a choice board. It's a little obnoxious, but it's the bruh, like grade 8. They always are like, bruh. Here are the things, and I'm going to pop this into present mode because it's really fun. I have these laminated. It's on a bulletin board in my classroom. Bruh, you're done. Pick something to do before your brain goes on airplane mode. Organize. Bro, your binder is in a trash can. Get it together. Read. Bro, you can never level up your brain if you never open the book. Revise. Bro, your first draft isn't a masterpiece. Read it again. And so it kind of goes and drives home 3 points. There's 7 different things there. Whew. I'm going to look at that 3:55. I'm feeling pretty proud of myself. Lauren, that was
it's 3:54 on my clock, so you're actually a minute early. So you did it, Emma. That was amazing. I feel like you shared so many amazing things with us, like Canva AI, LearnGrid, Canva Code. I use Canva every single day, and I feel like every time I am in one of Emma's sessions or I see something she creates, I'm always learning something new. It's amazing.
It's the bro change, the choice board, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. I know. It's so helpful to have all of those templates too. So hopefully everybody has a really great takeaway from this session. Could you please just let us know what you thought of it? There's a QR code on the screen right there. I'm going to drop the link in the chat as well. Let us know what you liked, what you found helpful, and then give us feedback on future sessions we can do for you as well. And then we also have another session coming up next week. We're only halfway through the session. So our third one will be on what's working with Gemini in Google Classroom. So that one's going to be really, really fun. There's so many amazing things happening with Gemini, especially in Google Classroom. So you're not going to want to miss that one. That is next Wednesday, August 26th, 3:00 p.m. Pacific time, 5:00 p.m. Central time. If you're here, you're probably registered. If not, the link right there is on the screen to register for the series to make sure you don't miss any of them. And I will drop that link in the chat. And then just one final thing, if you want to stay connected with us, if you want to join our email list, that is the best way to find out like what's new, different learning opportunities, free webinars, workshops, resources, tech tip videos, all of those things. So I'll drop that link in the chat as well. We'll go ahead. We'll stay on for a few more minutes in case there's any other questions that you have about Canva or anything Emma showed you that you want to know more about. Again, I will follow up with an email with a link to the recording, and then all of the resources that Emma shared are in her slide deck. I'll make sure that you have that. If you are an educator, you can get Canva Pro for free. So I will include the link for that in case you're not registered for that. We want to make sure you have a Canva Pro account and it's free. So
yeah, Canva is super generous. Like, don't be afraid to reach out. They want teachers, and it blows my mind that this is free.
Yeah, they're so passionate about like education, and they want to make sure teachers have them, students have them. So it is amazing that they do all of this for free. So
we just want to say a huge thank you for joining. We hope that you feel inspired. Maybe you have some new little nuggets and takeaways, and even it's just the shortcuts where you're going to toss some confetti around and have some fun. But those are kind of my favorite new features, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah. And a big thank you to Emma. This was amazing. You showed us so many amazing things. So this was great. So I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream, and thank you everyone for joining us.